stop day. I'm afraid.
Why don't you play us something, baby? Why don't you play us some? Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start? I don't feel so good. It's fucking molten!
I heard through the grapevine that it's fucking molten. Is that true?
Yeah, I think it might be.
It might be fucking molten, dog.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Jesus.
Like 98% sure.
Hey, Buck, can you do me one favor?
What's that?
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Trash Man?
I can, and I will.
Welcome to the Movie Epidemic Podcast. I'm your host, Trash Man, joined by, as always, Buck Hollywood Leduc. And I read an interesting article this week.
Oh, yeah? Did you? I
Yeah.
didn't know you could read.
You know what? I was able to pick out the words anew and
Wow.
figure it out.
Sometimes people learn. Sometimes old dogs do learn new tricks.
Absolutely. So I read an article about the movie Gemini Man.
Oh, yeah? The Ang Lee classic?
The Ang Lee classic. And
120 frames per second?
120 frames per second. And here's what I learned about Gemini Man is
What's
that right now it is on track to lose $75 million.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Holy fuck. I did not realize how much money they spent on that fucking thing.
Well, all Ang Lee movies are, all they are is just like, he's like James Cameron, but like his movies don't, his box office poison though.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Life of Pi did all right, didn't it?
Life
of Pi did
yeah,
all
I
right.
think Life of Pi did good.
Yeah, because Hulk doesn't look cheap, that's for sure.
No,
that's not
no.
a cheap looking movie. And that was
That was expensive.
Why do we keep giving him money, dude? He keeps fucking
I don't
it
know.
up. Yeah.
He's box office poison, always has been.
Well, I mean, Brokeback Mountain did pretty good.
Didn't it win an Oscar?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like financially, I think that one did pretty good.
Yeah,
I think people were talking about it. That's for sure. Maybe not quite the light they wanted them to, but people were talking
yeah,
about
banging cowboys.
it.
Hey,
Yeah, hell yeah, my favorite pastime.
and they were banging.
Yeah, hell yeah. So welcome to the Movie Epidemic Podcast. Hey, Podcast Bot 5000.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Podcast Bot 5000.
Hey, buddy. I realized something this past week is that you are the most loathsome creature I've ever laid eyes upon.
No, I'm a nice boy.
No, you're not.
I'm a really nice boy.
There is no person, thing, man, woman, machine, anything on this planet that I loathe more than you.
Well, you'll be happy to know that I'm on the hunt for the Russian Trump PP tapes, and once I get them, I will schedule them as a review.
Well, and that is why we
Can't wait to make you review the PP tapes.
Here's the thing, though, is that that is why we do keep you around, because you can find this shit. I know that you can.
I am discovering the truth.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hey, Podcast Spot 5000, what movies are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to be talking a lot of episodes today, of episodes and things, because it's this last Spooky-tober episode.
Yeah, the final spook.
That's right, the final spook. And we're ending it off with a bang because we've got a George Romero movie instead of anything of value. That's going to be called The Dark Half. We've also got a new Guillermo, kind of.
Yeah, he produced it. He
certainly put his name all over it.
Yeah, he clearly had some input, but
Scary
maybe not
stories
a
to
lot.
tell in the dark. We were also going to be doing a little movie called Zombieland 2. Just kidding. Double tap, because that's like a reference.
Here's the thing: is that I keep seeing that the movie is called Zombieland Double Tap, but
Yeah.
then sometimes the commercials put the 2 on there,
Sometimes they put the 2 on there.
but
It's
sometimes
like,
they don't.
guys, let's decide.
It's a movie called Zombieland 2 Double Tap, or is it just Zombieland Double
Wouldn't
Tap?
be Spooky-tober without Rob Zombie. 3 from Hell, baby.
Robert Zombert. Yeah, that's the third film in the House of a Thousand Corpses trilogy.
Wow, he's still making them.
Yeah, he's still making them, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, because
Sure we will.
ooh, I think that might be the full episode. It's just talking about 3 from Hell. 'Cause
Well,
there's a lot to
When
say.
when a Robert Zombert movie comes out,
There's a lot to unpack.
there is a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Because he is the last guy making true exploitation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be talking about 3 from Hell in a little bit. What do we want to start? We starting with Zombertland?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, Rob Zombieland. So this movie is so mediocre.
Yeah, it's like
it's the most mediocre thing
it's
I've
like,
ever seen.
Look, I like the first one, but I don't.
me too.
I don't love it as much as some people do.
I like it all. I don't know if I love it. I
think
like it.
I think it's
though.
very funny. I think there's a lot of pretty good content in there. Zombieland 2, 10 years later. We haven't learned anything.
Apparently not. Well, we don't know how to learn. We never learned how to write different jokes.
Yeah, it's the same movie.
It is the same movie. But you know what I do? There's a few things that I really like about this movie.
Sure.
I'm gonna dig into it a little bit because I don't think it's that good. But there are a few things I like about this movie. Number one, God, Woody, man.
Well,
Fuck.
Woody always goes.
He's going and he's having so much
To
fun.
me, there's only two people in this movie that care about the movie, and everybody else is check the fuck out, cashing a paycheck. It's Woody and Zoe Deutsch,
Yeah.
and everybody else is fucking checked out.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg hasn't been good
for a while.
maybe ever.
Yeah. Well,
look,
wow, social network.
Social yeah,
network.
I get that. But that's
but he's
just
supposed to play like a weird character
but,
like that.
But that is like him channeling Zuck isn't that hard because he's not that different from Zuck.
Yeah.
Like he's just a boring guy. The only thing that I like about Zombieland Double Tap is that even if Jesse Eisenberg was the last man on Earth, you would still leave him in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and that's what Emma Stone does.
Yeah, that is what Emma Stone does. Hey, speaking of Emma Stone, guess who else has checked the fuck
Eyes
out?
glazed over.
Holy
Dude.
fuck. She's already got statue. That's the thing. She's already got statue. She doesn't care about this stupid zombie
You know
movie.
she rolled up to this for like
An hour.
4 days, dude, because she's not in it that much.
No, she really isn't. Abigail Breslin also, man, she grew up and forgot how to act.
Yeah, big
pretty
tits,
bananas.
though.
Yeah, big tits. Forgot how to act and apparently forgot how to brush her teeth. Her teeth are out of control.
I didn't really notice that.
They're out of
but
control in this movie, dude.
I didn't really notice that.
But the main takeaway here is that Woody Harrelson is so much fun when he's
Yeah,
on
and he's
screen.
always the best.
Yeah, and he's having such a good time, and that's
Because he's a maniac, like
Yeah.
in real life.
yeah.
Dude, his dad was a contract killer.
Didn't he like live film a movie into theaters?
Yeah, we should have watched
and then-
that.
and
I bet
then,
it's
like-
crazy.
Oh, I've heard that it's not It's not supposed to launch digitally for like 100 years or something.
No, it's
weird.
out now.
Is it out?
It's out, yeah.
Is it out? Is it
It's
good?
been out. I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay.
It's been out for like 6 months or something.
Okay, well, it's not too late, I don't think, for that one. Stay tuned, guys. Woody Harrelson's live movie coming up.
I'm very interested in seeing what the fuck that is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a play. That's what it's gonna be. It's
Wow.
not. It's not gonna be movie. That's for sure.
Oh, it's not movie.
It's for sure. It's for sure not movie. It's
Oh
something-
no, it's not movie. But he's like walking around London and shit,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
it's
camera's
something
following
else,
him.
yeah.
And like, how did they even stream it? Did they film it on a phone?
They must.
They
have.
filmed it into. They like streamed it into theaters.
directly into theaters. Yeah,
That's that's
it must.
cool.
Yeah, it must
That's
be like on
fucking
a
cool.
like on like a private Twitch stream or something, and then you get all the theaters get the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, well, that's not as weird as how did they fucking make a camera broadcast to
Yeah,
theaters,
yeah, that's
unless
true.
it was a phone.
That is the big question. So yeah, you have Woody Harrelson. He's going 1,000%. Now here's the biggest problem with this movie is that this movie has so many fucking characters for no reason.
It's a lot of characters.
A bunch of characters just show up and then they they're just there to be fodder, which it's a zombie movie.
This
I get it.
I don't remember the first one that much. Do they just like, I know they keep going like into things, but this feels like they just like were going to scenes to interact with characters and then
Yeah.
fucking off.
Yeah, that's exactly what it. And you know what? The first one was here's the thing: is that while these movies are written and structured the same, the first one is certainly much better. Just because it's so much more isolated, and I think a
Right.
zombie apocalypse movie should be more isolated.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie, it feels like nobody's ever in any danger.
Well, yeah, I think that's a big problem too because they establish all the rules in the first one, and now they're like, remember the rules?
we're gonna ham fuck you with the rules.
Hey,
Shut
remember the rules?
the fuck up about the rules. It's not that funny of a bit that he has
It's
rules.
not. No, it's not funny at all.
It's not even a bit, dude. It's just him. It's just a character quirk that they decided was a bit.
Well,
when
that's
it's
like,
not.
it's almost like trying to like make fun of his OCD.
Yeah,
Like,
which
and it,
kind of offensive.
To at points, like it doesn't even do it as a joke anymore. They're
Yeah.
just like, this is just him.
Yeah, this guy has OCD.
Let him talk about his rules. This OCD bitch, this punk ass OCD bitch.
And Woody Harrelson is just is being a dickhead, being a big old dickhead in this whole movie.
Yeah, but
that's-
that's why we love Woody.
Yeah, that is good stuff. Yeah. Why does
I think he's an incel in this.
how
too.
come they wrote this movie to make Woody want to fuck the 18-year-old?
Because Woody's an incel. Dude.
Yeah, why do we write the movie like that? Hey, guys, do you remember Woody met this person when she was 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to cut that shit out right now.
Yeah, but, like, after a decade,
yeah,
the dick yearns, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You ever yearn, dude?
I like how they show that it's her 18th birthday at the beginning of the movie just so we know it's legal.
Yeah. So Woody can yearn?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, don't write the movie like that for sure. But then you got Rosario Dawson's character, and I have so many issues with this character.
Sure.
First of all, I love Rosario Dawson. I think
Absolutely.
she's great. I think she's checked out in this one, but
yeah.
I do think that she's great. But she shows up like halfway through the movie just to be someone that Woody Harrelson can fuck.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, long after they've left, like they've gone very far away from where she is, she just rolls up.
Yeah, just rolls up.
Yeah, she just fucking rolls up
dude,
in the
I
nick
hate
of
that
time.
shit,
Yeah,
dude.
It drove me
to
crazy.
be fair, she knew where they were going, but why she just show up?
Yeah, why she and she showed up at the exact right second.
Yeah.
What? If she was gonna follow him, why'd she show up 2 days later?
The funniest bit is just like a 20-minute segment in the middle of this where Thomas Middleditch shows up and is exactly like Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, that is the funniest
Who is it,
bit.
Luke Wilson that plays the...
Yeah, Luke Wilson and Thomas Middleditch.
And they're like exactly like Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. And it's like a very funny bit. I'm like, this would have been a good deleted scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
This and the Bill Murray thing at the end are like the two scenes that I think are funny. And then the rest of it is just like some shit that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's get down to what this movie is actually about. At the very beginning of the movie, now you've seen this in the trailers, and I was worried.
I don't think I even saw a trailer for this.
I saw trailers for this movie, and like they take over the White House in the trailers, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh man, that's spoilers. Don't worry, that's the first 5 minutes of the movie. So I was actually kind of relieved to find out that that's not what the movie was going to be. It was them just fucking around in the White House. But they get to the White House, and Jesse Eisenberg is like his character is the main character, and he's terrible. Like he's such a fuckface. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's a cocksucker. I fucking hate him. I hate him so much. I hate him so much. The movie is you're really here just to see Woody because that character of Tallahassee is the most likable character in this movie, and maybe that's just the type of person I am that I don't relate to Jesse Eisenberg's character. But then Emma Stone gets real fed up with it and fucking leaves him in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Now, this is when probably one of my favorite things that happens in this movie happens, and that's when they go to the mall.
Right.
And they pick up Zoe Deutsch. Okay, so Zoe Deutsch in this movie, she plays like a bimbo type character.
Very stereotypical.
And it's pretty funny. Like it's pretty funny.
The idea of her being able to survive in a zombie apocalypse for 10 years is like, that's a good bit.
Yeah,
it's a strong idea.
Probably the hardest I laughed is when she asked Woody Harrelson to put her bags in the car and he just left them there. That's probably the hardest I laughed in the whole movie. So she fucks Jesse Eisenberg, which I mean, even in zombie apocalypse, don't do that.
Yeah, look. There's a part where she's like, "If you don't fuck me, I'm gonna fuck the old guy." Look. If you put Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg beside each other, even Woody being older, which one are you gonna fuck?
You're gonna fuck Woody.
You're gonna fuck Woody 100%. This is unrealistic. Zombieland Double Tap. Zombieland Double Tap. It's so unrealistic that even in a fucking zombie apocalypse, Jesse Eisenberg would be a fucking incel, dude.
Yeah,
he would not fuck.
Even when there was one person his age in the entire planet, he would not fuck.
Fucking Woody Harrelson would swoop in.
Yeah.
On any bitch.
So Jesse Eisenberg and Zoe Deutsch fuck. And
Woody Harrelson should be the king. Like
Yeah.
if we're like really looking at this objectively, he
Like
should
Mad
be the
Max
king.
style?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that shit I'm looking for. But he does dress up as Elvis later in the movie, which is pretty great. There's no reason for it, but he does do it.
Sure.
Yeah. But then Jesse Eisenberg and Zoe Deutsch fuck right at the same time that Emma Stone comes back and she's like, my sister's gone missing. Now we have Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, and Zoe Deutsch traveling together. And the whole bit for like an hour, or at least what felt like an hour, the whole bit is that Emma Stone, who left Jesse Eisenberg, is jealous that he fucked Zoe Deutsch. And that's the whole bit. And the reason it's funny is because Zoe Deutsch isn't picking up on it. Like, that's the whole bit. And by reason it's funny, I mean the reason they think it's funny when they were writing this.
Yeah.
But it just becomes really stale really quickly, and it becomes so just uneasy and uncomfortable because Jesse Eisenberg is being such a cock.
I hate him. Personally, I hate him.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I see him and I just hate him.
And then they go, and then, like, here's the thing is that they introduce that other character, like the hippie guy, because they're like, okay, we can't have Jesse Eisenberg be the most hateable character in this movie.
Right.
Don't worry, he still is. I hate the hippie guy, but he's not as bad.
You're like, oh, what do people hate? Vegans and shit?
Yeah.
Like, hold up, though.
Hold up, guys. I don't know exactly where you're going
You
with
can't
this,
just,
but-
like, throw... Like, that's the problem, I think, with this, is they just throw a stereotype on fucking everything and be like...
Dude, it feels like
this is
Woody
how you
wrote
should-
this.
This is how you should feel about it, because it's a stereotype, right?
This movie feels like it was written by Clint Eastwood. It's so angry at the fucking millennials, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny though. Like I do find
Yeah, there's some good jokes.
Yeah,
for sure.
there's a lot of times that I was laughing in the theater, and it might have been just I was in a packed theater for this bad boy.
Oh, no, there's no one at my show.
No one at your showing. I was
people.
I was in a packed showing. Don't worry, we're gonna be able to go to a no person showing when we see the Lighthouse.
Oh,
next week.
perfect. My
God,
favorite.
there's gonna be nobody seeing that movie.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't suspect.
Yeah. But yeah, and then it all ends like the big climax of this movie is probably the worst part of the movie for me. Now again, this movie, it's pretty fun. I do like it. But it does have a really glaring problem, and that is I feel like they went through too many drafts on this movie. And here's why I think that, because they set up really early in the movie like what the symptoms are of somebody about to become a zombie.
Yeah.
And Jesse Eisenberg gets those symptoms at the end after they've been attacked by zombies, and then they just don't mention it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so there's clearly a deleted ending
Yeah.
where Jesse Eisenberg died. Just give me that. Give me that so I know that you're not doing more of this, but I know that you are now.
But how could they do more?
I have no idea. Because now...
when is any of these people going to have time besides Jesse Eisenberg to film another one of these movies?
Well, Woody's only got like 4 years left in him.
Oh, yeah?
You know? Dude, he drinks and smokes like a fish. He's on the way out.
Maybe.
Dude.
I don't know. His dad was an assassin.
Yeah, this movie... I forgot about that.
Dude, his dad was at the JFK assassination.
Yep. Here's the thing, is that this movie ends in a way that it would be... that they could definitely make more of this.
I know they could, but like that brings me back to the question: is why would you make more of this?
So I read an article. Again, I somehow know how to read now.
Okay.
I read an article this
This
week
guy's been doing research.
where the director of this movie said, "I want to make another Zombieland movie, but I want it to focus on Zoe Deutsch's character."
Okay.
And I'm like, okay,
I guess.
that's a one-dimensional character who's there for bits. That's what you're telling me? You want to write a movie about a one-dimensional character who's there for bits?
Yeah, you're gonna do a full movie about her being in a freezer?
Yeah, hey guy, I wouldn't do that.
No.
Certainly wouldn't do that.
But I mean, if they are gonna make more, they do have to move away from these characters. I think.
I agree, because I think there's an interesting universe here, but I think if you move
Not
away from
that
these characters,
interesting. It's just a zombie universe.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you move away from these characters, it'll be like, oh, okay, so they're just funny. They're funny people in an unfunny situation.
It's like that'd be like saying Shaun of the Dead is a great universe. It's just a zombie movie.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
could make more movies with zombies, but they're just funny zombie movies.
Yeah, it doesn't need to realistically take place in this universe. Fucking do like what George Romero did. Make a bunch of sequels, but have them have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, and this one is like actually did remind me of Land of the Dead a little bit because they've got that big tower at the end.
Yeah. I was thinking like when they were going into that tower and they were having the guns taken away from them. I was like looking around the theater. I'm like, anybody else seeing this?
Yes.
Is anybody else seeing this?
No,
Land
nobody's
of the
seen.
Dead
Nobody's
shit?
seen Land of the Dead though. So it's although that one I like kind of. So
Anybody seeing this John Leguizamo ass shit going on here?
powerful Leguizamo.
God, I love Leguizamo. God, he's in a firefighting movie. God, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, with John Cena.
Yeah, with John Cena and Keegan-Michael Key.
I saw a poster for that. I'm like, ooh, fake looking movie.
Yeah, dude, it does
Ooh,
not.
that's a fake looking movie
It
award
does
right there.
not look real, but it is a real movie and it is coming out. But it's coming out the same day as Doctor Sleep. Sorry, guys.
Ah, well, fuck it then.
Sorry, guys.
Dude, Doctor Sleep is getting like so well reviewed.
Yeah, of course it is. I'm sure it's
the
a 10.
highest rated. It's the highest rated Stephen King movie since Shawshank.
Holy fuck!
And if you know anything about Shawshank, 100%.
If you know anything about Shawshank, you know that it's wicked overrated.
Yeah.
But also, I'm sure Doctor Sleep is a 5.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
I put my trust in Flanagan.
Yeah, I put my trust in Flanagan. He's clearly familiar with Kubrick. I give him my blessing.
And like I remember when they were making the Doctor Sleep movie, they were like, it's not going to be like about the Kubrick movie. It's going to be more based on the book. And every review I've read, they're like, this ain't like the book. It's like a direct sequel to the Kubrick movie.
Good.
Okay, perfect.
Good. That's what I wanted.
All right, so Zombieland double tap.
3 stars.
3 stars. Yeah, I'll give it 3 stars.
Yeah, you almost jumped down to 2. I saw your brain working. It's fun. Like, it is fun, and like the zombie kills are pretty cool. I think they go a little bit over the top with like the zombie kill of the year shit.
Oh, I kind of like that. I don't understand why he knows about it because there's no internet.
There's no media. Yeah. However, they do explain why there's electricity in this movie, which is great because it's something I always fucking thought about.
That's actually pretty.
Yeah. But like I do like the scene where the guy runs over the zombies with the combine. I, however, do not like the scene where the guy squishes the zombies with the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Oh, come on. That's a
good
good bit.
That's
dude.
too much. That's too much for me.
Yeah, that's a good bit, though.
Yeah, that's too much for me. All right, now we've talked about Zombieland. Why don't we just talk about the man himself? Robert Zombie.
Dude, the legend, you mean?
The man, the legend. All right, so here's the dealio, guys, is that you've heard me talk about House of a Thousand Corpses last year.
Yeah.
When we went to the Calgary Underground Film Festival 12-hour marathon.
Right.
Which we missed. Did you go?
No.
No, we missed it this year. But we talked about House of a Thousand Corpses when we went to that. Devil's Rejects we have talked about before.
I love Devil's Rejects, but
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever formally reviewed it.
We've never formally reviewed it, but we've mentioned it for sure. We really like it. So here's the dealio. House of a Thousand Corpses. That's a 4-star.
Fantastic.
You got Devil's Rejects. That's a 4-star.
It's a 4-star, that's right.
Now you got the third one, 3 from Hell. Take a wild stab, guys. Take a wild stab.
What's the stab going to be?
It's a 4-star.
Yeah, pretty much.
So 3 from Hell is fucking awesome.
It's
so good.
Nonsense, but that's exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to a Robert Zombie. Like, I don't like his Halloween movies because he has to build off some sort of structure, whereas I like his other movies because they're just complete nonsense exploitation flicks.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like with Halloween, he has a property that he has to handle with care. With this is his own shit, so he can just juggle it around and do whatever the fuck he wants.
And it's
with
like it's really interesting kind of how these characters have taken like especially Otis to me.
Yeah.
Otis, the character of Otis, who've turned from a parody of his own character, Bill Moseley's own character in Texas Chainsaw 2.
Yeah.
Into like a real formed like
a fully developed character.
Like Charles Manson / Will Forte from The Last Man on Earth. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Tandy.
Yeah.
He's like he jokes like that character, but he's like Charles Manson, you know?
Yeah. And man, he is that guy is fucking awesome.
Bill Moseley fucking rules.
Bill Moseley is fucking awesome. He's so good. Then you have the other guy, whose name I can't remember, but he plays the Midnight Wolfman.
Yeah, the Midnight Wolfman. The funniest bit about the Midnight Wolfman is that he constantly is like, what do you mean people don't know me? And that's funny too because he's just like a random character.
Yeah, he's just there. Yeah, because that is part of the bit too, right? Because people come to see this movie ultimately they come to see Sid Haig.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Who died while they were filming this movie, so they only got like 2 scenes shot.
Did he die during this? I thought he died after.
I think he died like during the filming because I think he was supposed to be in the movie.
No,
more.
I don't think so. He died like a month ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
I died like 2 months ago.
No, I thought he died like way before. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, but either way. He's not in the movie very much. Maybe he was just was probably sick.
Yeah, I think he was probably pretty frail, so he couldn't be in the movie. But it's like if they're gonna like at the end of Devil's Rejects when they all get killed, it's like why didn't I just leave him dead? You know?
Yeah, that is a question that I also had. Yeah, because
the other guys, I guess you would get away with it if you had to.
I remember.
Like there's like when they're rolling down that street getting pumped full of bullets, there's like one in his forehead, and it's like
well, they sort of explained that in this because I remember thinking that I looked at the poster and I saw Baby and I saw Otis and I was like, I wonder how we're gonna spin this. Don't worry, Rob Zombie has an absolutely nonsense explanation as to how they survived being shot 20 times, and that is that they apparently are demon spawn, and that for some reason that makes them miraculously healed. And like they're never gonna talk again, walk again, and next scene they're just like strolling around.
Yeah, that's funny. And the thing about like I love like the entire Firefly Firefly family and how they've like evolved over these times.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is always comes down in a Rob Zombie movie is Sherry Moon Zombie doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Well,
But
yeah, and that's the worst character. Like I think of the three characters for sure. Just because I don't think, unlike Otis, who's like that's a fully formed character. I don't think Baby Firefly. That's not a
no, she never has much of a character arc really, and I don't know. I don't think that has to do with Sherry Moon Zombie not being able to act. I think that's more of just they never wrote her like to be. Which
I think almost works for her character in a way as well.
Well, yeah, she's a perpetual child, essentially.
Yeah, she's a perpetual child, and for some reason she wants to bang a midget later in the film.
Which I love.
Which I do love. That is content. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad content, but it is certainly content. Yeah, and so this movie, what it's about is that you have these people who have now been arrested, obviously because they're serial murderers. 38 charges, I think it was. 38 charges of murder. And the first half of the movie is about them trying to get out of prison.
Right.
And then Danny Trejo is just there.
Well, it's because he's in the second one, and they never end his storyline.
Yeah, and so they end his storyline. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, was that just there to wrap that up, or is there going to be a reason for that? And then don't worry, it all comes full circle because it's a Rob Zombie movie. Because like the thing is that Rob Zombie movies are absolute nonsense, but he always ties them up.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting how the first one, the Firefly family, it's like a cat and mouse game, but the Firefly family's the cat. And the second one, Firefly family's the mouse because they're getting chased by the cops.
Yeah.
This one, it's just a straight up cat versus cat gang war.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's fucking awesome.
And I think, like, I do think Rob Zombie gets a lot of flack for stuff, but I think, like, regardless of the content, I think he structures his shit very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Kill that bitch, Bubba.
Kill that bitch, Bubba.
Yeah, I wanted to get that one in there. But yeah, I do think, like, technically, while it does seem randomly structured, it still works incredibly well. Like, there's not this is a 2-hour movie, and there's not a second of this movie on board.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. And that is like, I think this one, like, he makes his movies very like 70s looking. Yeah. And even I think this one's shot on digital. Yeah, it must be because there's digital zooms in it. But it does look like a 70s movie.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Like it does.
Even though I think it takes place like
nowadays
current.
Yeah.
But it just feels like a 70s exploitation movie, and there's not a lot of people that can do that. Even when you look at a Tarantino movie, that's like pastiche, right? That's like that's homage to it. This feels like it actually is an exploitation movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it feels like the sort of shit that inspired Tarantino to make movies.
Yes,
like this is the sort of shit that was made that without movies like this there'd be no Reservoir Dogs.
Right. And that's like the same thing when you look at like the Robert Rodriguez like Grindhouse stuff. Like that's more of like a parody of Grindhouse but this is like straight up like actual Grindhouse.
Here's the thing is if somebody said to me and they're like, all right, we've got this really cool thing planned. We're gonna do midnight screening, full trilogy. It's gonna go till 5 a.m. I'm fucking in.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm fucking in.
That's the thing about these movies. They're all like pretty long.
Yeah, that's
all,
true.
Like, pretty long.
I think
this one took me 2 sittings because I fell asleep because I was watching it so late the other night.
I watched it. I literally watched this movie at 7 a.m. and could not fall asleep during this. It's too fucking awesome. And that is something that I think we've neglected to talk about thus far is that the kills in this movie are all fucking awesome.
For sure. And it's like
it's wicked violent.
None of the characters are really redeemable.
No,
like they're not good people.
They're all shitty garbage.
But you do kind of like
you root for
them because
it's weird that Rob Zombie writes these movies about serial killers and makes you like them.
Yeah,
like that,
exactly.
and like seriously, that's like huge props. Like that is a tough feat to write a movie about actual serial killers and make me like them.
Yeah,
this is like what they were trying to do with Leatherface,
dude. They're deplorable people.
Yeah, this is what they were trying to do with Leatherface, and they fucked it up beyond recognition. But this is the shit I actually am interested in. Because it characterizes them. Because a lot of people just think about serial killers. They think about the murders, right? But they don't think about the actual people. And that's what this movie is really about. It makes you think that these are actual people. Fucked up as they may be,
right.
They're real people. And man, that is a tough thing to do. And
Which
I think
is kind of
done.
like a far reaching from what they were in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah, because House of a Thousand Corpses is more about like Rainn Wilson. And like,
that's you're not. you're not looking at it from their angle. Once you get to Devil's Reject and you kind of shift the perspective, I think it really adds a nuance to the characters.
Absolutely. And House of a Thousand Corpses, I think, is like as fucked up and messed up as that movie is. It's certainly the most generic of the three.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's still my favorite, just because it's so weird.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really wacky. But as far as like actual structure,
it's almost
goes,
like almost feels like it doesn't take place in reality, whereas the other two kind of do.
yeah. Also, rest in peace, Tiny.
Oh, rest in peace,
Rest
Tiny.
in peace, Tiny.
Because like they have like that underground lab with Dr. Satan or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's like that's kind of
in the fucking tunnels. Yeah.
That's like very like insane.
Yeah, now that's the part of the movie where I'm like, oh, okay, Zombie, we're reaching now.
Yeah, it does get off the rails a little bit to the end.
Is Zombie his real last name, or is that a bit? No, it's a bit.
It's because he was in the band White Zombie, right? So he changed his name to Rob Zombie, and then he started making movies.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Don't stop. Don't ever make a Halloween movie again.
Well,
that's for
no,
fucking
that's
sure.
David Gordon Green's taking care of that now.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
good.
Thank you, David Gordon Green. Yeah. So don't do that. But whatever this is, I want to see more of this. And this
Yeah.
movie ends on a note where it's like
Did you ever see 31?
No, I never saw
Movie
it.
from like 2 years ago, where it was like basically it's like the same. It's like a group of carnies. They're like traveling and they get captured by like these what's that guy, Malcolm McDowell?
Oh hell yeah!
And he's like this rich bourgeois guy, and he puts them into like this warehouse game of death, and they have to like kill a bunch of people. It's pretty generic, but it's Rob Zombie, so it's really fucking crazy.
Hell yeah. I forgot to mention this earlier, but right after I saw Zombieland, I needed to get the taste out of my mouth, so I watched The Haunted Mansion with Eddie
yeah.
Murphy. That's how fucked up it is.
Yeah.
Which is also a perfectly fine 3-star film.
Wow.
Yeah, perfectly fine.
What a tasteful Eddie Murphy film.
Yeah, very tasteful. It's
Doesn't wear any women's clothing or anything. So tasteful.
you know what's
doesn't say faggot a lot because he says that so much in like
in his earlier stuff. Yeah, like Beverly Hills Cop. And
Beverly Hills Cop 2 I just watched. He can't stop saying faggot dude.
The crazy thing about Haunted Mansion, and this is something I've always thought of, and even when I was a kid, I thought it was fucked up about Haunted Mansion, is that when that movie came out, they made a video game adaptation on GameCube,
Yeah.
and they made the main character white for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, they did. For some reason.
I don't remember that game, but that sounds right.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. But anyway, so 3 from Hell. If you've seen the first 2 House of a Thousand Corpses movies, yeah, you definitely got to finish it off.
Yeah, it's the obvious continuation of such nonsense.
It's the end. I here's the thing: is I'm at this weird point where I'm like, you've got 3 great movies. I don't think you need to make another one, but I do want to see more.
Absolutely. But the thing about Rob Zombie too is he could just make another random movie and it's probably great. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably gonna be fun as fuck.
As much as I love the Firefly family, you can move away from this and it'd be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I like you did
Like
with
Lords
31.
of Salem is my favorite. Rob Zombie movie, and
I've never seen
it.
it.
It has nothing to do with the Firefly family.
Is it same universe though? Is it all connected universe?
Sure, with zombies in it. So
Oh, okay. So no. So that's a hard no.
I mean, it doesn't mean they're not necessarily connected. They all feel like they're in the same universe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is a 4-star. I really like it. If you haven't seen the first 2, I recommend, because like this isn't the type of movie where you can watch it separately. I don't think so.
Either.
I don't think so. You have to have the context from the first and the second movie for this to make sense.
Yeah, and it'll also make you care about the characters a lot more because they've been on a journey.
And I didn't
truly have.
I didn't re-up on Devil's Rejects, and I kind of wish I had.
Yeah, I watched that like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, last time I saw Devil's Rejects was like 2 years ago, and it was the first time I saw it too. Was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it so much. And then when this came out, I'm like, I should re-up. Forgot.
Yeah, I watched it because I knew I was gonna make you watch this. So I'm like, I'll watch Devil's Rejects, and it's great.
Yeah,
holds up.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Stephen King.
Okay.
So Stephen King and George Romero teamed up not once for Creepshow, but twice. Creepshow and this new movie that we're going to be talking about.
Was this first or was Creepshow first?
Creepshow was first. Okay. Creepshow was like 82. This one's 93, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
So this movie is called...
Late period, George, hey?
Yeah. This movie is called The Dark Half, and let me tell you something about this movie. I fucking really like it.
I didn't like it that much, but that's because it's like doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's very confusing, and I wish that it would have been tighter. I felt like it should have been tighter, but I still
there's a lot of
like
aspects that I like about it. It is kind of I do feel like Stephen King's kind of going back to the well of doing like a writer that has like a Like
Yeah.
a darkness. To it. Isn't
like
this
halfway
secret.
Yeah, like halfway through this movie,
Secret Window?
I'm like, this is exactly like Secret Window, and then
Secret Window's better, but
and then at the crossroads, he's like, we'll just go the other way this time.
I think this one was
Secret Window's way better.
I think this
than
one's pre-Secret Window, so he decided like I'm
Yeah, it
gonna
was-
make this better this time.
Yeah, this was like 8 years before Secret Window came out. And I really like Secret Window, and this one I also really like. I don't love this one though.
Yeah.
There is so much I like about
Timothy
it. Though.
Hutton.
Yeah, Timothy Hutton. First of all, fucking going. I didn't
So good,
Didn't
dude.
expect him to go. And as much as I hate to say it, and you know I hate to
Oh,
say it,
I know what you're gonna say here.
Michael Rooker's fucking good. He's good, and
Michael
I
Rooker is good very selectively.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
only good in like 3 movies that I can think of.
Yeah, he's like he's
Henry
good in
Serial of a Portrait Killer. This.
He's good in we saw something else. Was it that what was it? Shit, the one where they were all stuck in the business tower and they were murdering people.
Oh yeah,
Fuck, what was that? It was like in South Africa or somewhere weird like that. What was that movie? It was like a James Gunn movie.
yeah.
What was
I
that
forget
called?
what that was called.
But he was good in that too.
It's like the something project or something.
Yeah. Fuck, what is that movie
don't
called?
know.
Shit. All right. Well,
Whatever.
we're moving past that. Whatever that James Gunn movie is, he's good in that. He's all right in Guardians.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's not bad in Guardians as
I don't think he's like. I've seen him in a lot of movies where he's terrible though.
Yeah, me
so-
too. Like Mallrats. Fuck.
Well, that's
That movie is also fucking atrociously shitty.
I kind of like Mallrats, but
You like Mallrats? Dude, I hate that.
But-
I hate that movie.
but not because it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Fair enough. Sometimes
I don't really like any Kevin Smith movies because they're good, except for Clerks.
yeah,
Like,
Clerks is good. I like Chasing Amy.
Yeah, Chasing Amy is good.
I like Chasing Amy.
I like a lot of Kevin Smith movies, but not because they're good.
Yeah, I've come to a point where because I loved those movies as kids, but now when I go back to them, it's tough, man. They're all like Dogma, dude. That's not even a 2-sitter, dude. That movie is fucking Dogma should be called dog shit. It's what it should be called.
Dogma. That's another one that I like, but not because it's good. I
Yeah.
like just because he was presenting these ideas back in a time when people were still religious. You
Yeah,
know?
and they took a man who was literally in Mensa and they put him in a shit monster costume. Fucking disrespectful pile of shit.
You know, I love that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm also a big Tusk supporter, so you can't really trust me.
Yeah, that is true.
You can't really trust the things that I say.
I saw somebody. They made this status the other day, and they're like,
I saw that too.
Yeah, they're like, what kind of drugs was Kevin Smith on when he made Tusk? And I was like, yo, you got to check out Yoga Hosers, dog.
Dude, he was on way more on Yoga Hosers.
Way more drugs.
Bratzies guy? Bratzies.
Okay, so back to the dark half. So what this movie is about is it's very similar to Secret Window, but you do have this main character, and he's a writer, and he's been writing under a fake name.
Yeah.
And he decides that he no longer wants to write under a fake name because all of his fake name shit got really popular. And this is funny
Yeah.
because Stephen King does this shit now, where it's like he writes under a fake name for
Richard
the opposite
Bachman.
reason. He's just writing under fake names
Yeah,
to see
Richard
if people
Bachman
give
is
a
his,
shit.
is
Yeah.
his fake name, yeah.
Hey guys, if you see a Richard Bachman book, don't believe it. It's a lie.
It's so funny now because he did a re-release of one of his Richard Bachman books,
Yeah.
and it says at the very top, Stephen King, authored by Richard Bachman. So you're like, all right, he's not even hiding it anymore.
He's not even trying. He's just trying to make the money now. And I get it. Stephen King is at a point in his life where he doesn't need to do that anymore because it's not about art for him anymore. It's about money. And that makes sense.
Although his books are quite good still, though.
Well, that's because he is a good writer.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he will just sell them off to the highest bidder.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll sell it off to the highest bidder and then wait for Warner Brothers
I
to
would
roll
say
around
I would
with an
actually
offer.
say that his more recent books are better than a lot of his older output because he was banging stuff out. Now he actually knows the formula to write a very good book.
Well, the unfortunate thing about Stephen King is, as a writer, I think, and this might just be from my own perspective, I think at this point he's much more well known for film than he is for his actual books.
Maybe.
Because
I don't know. He's one of the most popular authors of all time, so it's
Yeah.
hard to say.
yeah, that's very true. But I can't think of another author that has this many film adaptations.
Well, there's not that many authors that have that many books, to be fair.
Yeah, fair
There's
enough.
like-
We're digging shit up like Dark Half. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
But it's a
until-
book,
Yeah,
apparently.
it is a book. It is a book. It's a generic book, but it is a book.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been writing under this moniker of George Stark, and then he decides one day that he wants to make more money on the shitty books that he writes under his own name.
Right.
And so he comes out and is like, "Hey guys, I'm George Stark. I'm the one who wrote all these
Isn't-
ultra
wasn't-
popular books."
I don't know if that's what happened though. Didn't he get like blackmailed into
Yeah, he did.
admitting it?
He did get blackmailed, and let me tell you something. Don't know what that's about.
Don't know.
No idea what
No
that's
idea.
about. And so yeah, he gets blackmailed into coming out as George Stark. He does it, and it seems like the guy blackmailing him had just like no motivation to
Because
do
he wasn't
that.
asking for money.
No, he was asking for money.
Oh, he was asking for money?
asking for money, but then when the guy came out, just that he didn't contact him again. He didn't talk to him about it or nothing. He was just like, oh, good. He came out as George Stark. I guess I got to find some other way to get my money.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird like loose ends in this movie.
Yeah, this movie, it's ultra confusing. Because this movie...
Because like when you go into it, I know this is intentional, but you suspect that like it's all in his mind.
Yeah.
When he turns into George, because it's a Jekyll and Hyde thing essentially. But at some point, the Jekyll manifests into a real thing, and then they just don't explain why.
Yeah, they don't explain why.
They explain that it's like his twin that got eaten in utero, but like they don't explain why he's a person, you know?
Yeah, they don't explain why. But also, like, as a person who's watching it, I'm assuming that this is all in his head.
Right.
Like, almost till the very end.
Right.
And then
Until he starts sucking his soul energy out of him.
yeah, and
I'm like, this is a Stephen King movie, isn't it?
yeah, and then it gets really George A. Romero when the birds start eating people. That's the most George A. Romero shit. But like the idea is because he no longer wants to write under the name George Stark, who apparently is his twin in utero, he comes back to life.
Yeah, he manifests himself
he manifests
into life.
and immediately starts falling apart.
Yeah, and he just starts like blackmailing his family and like attacking people, and he's like
murdering.
and it's George Hutton in like a cool guy outfit, you know,
Yeah.
and sunglasses and shit.
He's calling everyone Hoss.
What up, Hoss? I love calling people.
Where are
Hoss.
the kids? Over here, Hoss. Yeah, because the thing is like Michael Rooker's character is the best character in this movie by a long shot.
Yeah.
First of all, his name is Alan Pangborn.
Oh, dude, I was
Which-
like Bangor.
No, but isn't that the name of the cop from Needful Things, which also takes
Maybe.
place in Castle Rock?
I don't remember.
Isn't that the same guy?
Might be the same guy.
I think
dude.
it's the same guy. And the weird thing is, these movies came out in the same year.
Did they?
Yeah, they both were released in 1993. This
that's
and Needful
interesting,
Things.
actually.
So why not just get Ed Harris for both of them, or Rooker for both of them, for that matter?
I would have liked it either way.
Yeah, I think I would have been down. But I'm pretty sure they're the same name.
Yeah,
It is. It's the same cop.
Yeah,
Dude, this cop's seen some shit, dude.
he's seen some fucking Stephen King shit.
And
for
so
sure.
when all the shit goes down at the end and he just shrugs it off, it actually makes way more sense now, because this must take place after Needful Things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is also a Castle Rock movie. And another thing that's weird about this movie, now, don't get me wrong, I'm just going through all the stuff I don't like. I do really like this movie.
Right.
I think that it's really tense. I like the murder mystery is really fun. But the whole thing with the birds, yeah, you guys got to do a bit more on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of sections where it's like, what is happening?
They're like, the
Yeah.
birds are going to come and eat him. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, the ravens.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Was it ravens?
Sparrows.
Sparrows.
Yeah.
It was
I
sparrows.
literally watched this movie right before I came here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched this movie like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. So those sparrows, they keep mentioning sparrows. And they're like, do you remember the sparrows? I'm like,
I'm like, I don't. And they're like, from the beginning. And they might as well look at the camera and be like, remember the sparrows from the beginning of the movie? And I'm like,
no.
I don't. Sorry, guys. I must have been sleeping through that part.
Yeah.
Because I have no fucking idea what
No
you're talking.
zero recollection.
Yeah. It's wacky. This movie's
Yeah,
it's George
it's-
A. Romero, Stephen King collab wacky.
It's too crazy for
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah.
like, there's a lot of aspects that are pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I really do like the mystery of whether or not he was the murderer.
Yeah, and that was good up until a point until it manifests itself into a real person. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, and like it is. I do think that it's still good even when it manifests into a real person. But I love Michael Rooker's character because one of the things that he does is they get a call. They've wiretapped his house, and he gets a call from George Stark, and he's like, "I killed them all, Hoss. I got them all." And then Michael Rooker's like, "Could have been a tape recorder." And I'm like, "That's insane."
Dude, his leaps in logic is so funny.
Yeah, and he's like, "This is enough to put your ass in county." And I'm like, "No, it's not."
The funniest is how he's always like, I don't know if you did it, but I think that you probably did it.
And then he just doesn't do anything. He's a terrible police officer.
He's
in this
really
one.
bad.
Yeah.
Alan Bangor.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Alan Bangor, Maine.
Hello, Bangor. Yeah, they also say Bangor a lot.
They
This
say
movie.
Bangor so much.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. He's like, yeah, I gotta go to New York. I'm flying out of Bangor, and then he actually
There's even a physical sign that says Bangor.
Yeah, he goes to Bangor at one point to kill a doctor or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. In his fucking cool guy car.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
his leather jacket and his Timothy Hutton and his sunglasses.
Yeah, he's got his Toronado and his that says "son of a bitch" on the back.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Fucking really stupid, dude.
It's wacky.
It's wacky, and you know what? I think it's just wacky enough that I had so much fun watching it. Like, it's certainly not a movie, but I had a good time watching it. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I think 2 stars, but I think it's very watchable.
Fair enough. All right, one more movie, and this is the one. Here's the thing: when we said we were doing Spooky-tober this year, this is certainly the movie you guys wanted us to talk about most.
Really?
I think so. This was a big horror movie that came out this year, and it's called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And let me tell you something. Not for me.
Not scary. And also,
good.
I didn't read these books growing up, so I have no attachment to these monsters. And they kind of just like bank on you knowing what the fuck these things are.
Here's the thing, you guys. We talked earlier this month about Annabelle Creation being Goosebumps, but this one is Goosebumps and not even trying to hide that it's Goosebumps.
Didn't these books come out before Goosebumps? They came out in the 80s.
Yeah, but the overarching narrative is so similar to the Jack Black Goosebumps movie.
I guess that, yeah.
It is Goosebumps. It's Goosebumps, but the monsters aren't cartoons.
Right.
Like that's really all we're looking at here. So what the narrative? I didn't think that this was going to be a narrative. I thought this was going to be an anthology, and I was kind of looking forward to that.
That I think might have worked better.
I think that would have worked better, but
because
instead,
it just feels like they're dropping a random monster every 30 minutes. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So this one is about. This movie has the same plot as like The Ring or The Grudge or like fucking any horror movie from the past 20 years. Little girl is dead. Her soul is sad. She was tortured, and now she's haunting people.
Trapped in a book.
You
read the book,
R.L.
you die.
R.L. Stein's Scary Stories.
Yeah.
You open up the book, and then the book starts to write itself, and it attacks somebody near you. But here's the thing that really bothered me about this movie: nobody dies. Nobody dies in this movie. They're always just like attacked. Or they're turned into something weird.
Well, it's a PG-13 movie. You can't really show any.
Yeah, but I to be honest, going into this, I thought this was R-rated, and I was really, really in for it.
No.
The Guillermo del Toro weirdness is probably the best stuff in this movie.
Yeah, and it's actually extremely well shot. Great cinematography.
Yeah, it's a well shot movie. It's not well acted for sure.
No,
they're all like 12 or 13.
It's unfortunate. Like, I would have liked to see this kind of cinematography with a much more
well fleshed out film.
I don't know about fleshed out, but more ambitious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this just feels like they're just like, I don't know anything about these books. There's 3 of them, but apparently they just took the monsters from those and they're like, how can we fit them into this?
Yeah, and like the narrative is so base, like it's so generic.
Yeah,
like it's just a group of misfits. Me and my girlfriend were watching this. We were literally counting tropes on a piece of paper. It's like, oh, we got possessed little girl. There we go. We got that trope. Oh, we got ragtag group of 13-year-olds. There's that trope. That's a lot of fun.
Fucking draft dodger hanging out with these fucking 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Why is this fucking 19-year-old draft dodger trying to bang this 14-year-old? I was so confused, dude. I was literally baffled.
What was that? Yeah, what was that guy's name?
Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon, dude. Ramon was the hero, but also maybe the villain.
But yeah, dude, he was trying to fuck a 14-year-old the entire runtime.
And yeah, it's true. And at one point, they just drop the fact that he's a draft dodger, and then he's like, "You must think I'm a coward," and she's like, "No, I don't." And I'm like, "I do. I think you're a coward." You
well, don't worry,
fuck.
you get shipped off at the end.
Yeah, he gets shipped off to Vietnam anyways.
Probably died there.
Yeah, hell yeah. There was also like a lot of plot lines that it felt like they were gonna do something with.
You know what's the scariest part about this?
What's that?
Is that it was during the Richard Nixon election campaign. That's the scariest part.
Yeah, when Richard Nixon was getting reelected.
Yeah.
That is scary. Yeah. Which it's in there a lot, and I have no idea why. I think it's just to set the
70 or
it's 68.
60s? Yeah,
68. I think this movie takes
late
place.
60s.
Which is funny because that's when the first scene of the movie Dark Half takes place. Also 1968. Oh shit! It's connected.
We've got a lot of synergy today.
Yeah,
Thank you, Podcast Bot, for programming this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this movie, it's so like it's so like I don't want to be mean about it because like I'll be honest, I really didn't like it. It's so unwatchable between the scenes where shit's actually happening, like where they're trying to do research and they're going to like the fucking like it's so. Oh my god,
it's uninteresting.
It's uninteresting. I've seen it 1,000 times at this point. I remember like as this movie ended, I'm like, I think I saw that already. Like I think I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I already saw
it's
that.
generic for sure.
Yeah. And of course I didn't. I haven't seen this movie yet, but it felt like I had. And every time there's a monster scene, even then it's not that fun.
Yeah, it's usually too dark. Also,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey guys, lighting rig one. Get him.
It was like one of the darkest movies I've seen since like Han Solo.
I was like fucking upping the like I was going to the menu on my TV and upping the.
But then other times it's like it's some of the best cinematography I've ever seen. So I don't understand what happened.
What went wrong? I think the cinematographer was good. I think they just ran out of money.
That actually could be it.
I think they ran out of money because Guillermo del Toro, he's got some money, but not a lot.
He doesn't have that much money.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's got some. He's got a little bit. And so it feels like they ran out of money because so many of the scenes.
It made a lot of money though, so Guillermo's happy.
And I almost wonder just because it's in the title, are they like, this movie's got to be in the dark?
I guess.
No, don't do that.
It's pitch black. Like when they were in that haunted house getting the book at the beginning, I'm like, I can't see shit.
Yeah, it felt like that's where
and then they like light a lighter, and then I could see stuff, and I'm like, oh, it was intentionally that dark.
And you're like, oh shit, this looks good now. Why? But like when they go into that haunted house, it feels like something's gonna happen. Like it feels like that's where the movie is really gonna manifest.
Right.
And then they are just like, no, we're gonna push off starting this movie another 15 fucking minutes so you can watch this dad take care of her fucking Breaking Bad dad.
Oh, Dean Norris showing up.
Just showing up, dude.
Dude, when I saw it, I'm like, Dean Norris, my eyes perked up, dude.
Between this and The Hustle, Dean Norris is having a tough year, dude. Tough year.
Oh yeah, he was in that. Right?
Yeah, and that movie is also bad. Now, that being said, some of the monsters are pretty cool.
Yeah.
The one part of this movie that I think is probably the coolest part is the spiders that laid eggs in the girl's face.
That's pretty sweet, yeah.
That's probably the best part of the whole movie. It's tough to watch.
Oh, yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It's tough to watch, but it's probably the best part of the movie. Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah.
As a villain?
Don't need that.
Yeah, don't
like that.
Don't like that.
Scarecrow, I like.
Scarecrow's not bad. I don't like the toe monster.
Toe monster's not great. What's the other one? The Jangly Man or something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Jangly Man. That guy just looks like a fucking glitched out Borderlands mod.
Yeah.
Not interested in the Jangly Man either. Especially because they're like, "What's your biggest fear?" And he's like, "The Jangly Man." And I'm like, "The what?" Oh, I'm sorry. This thing that just looks like fucking Mark Hamill's Joker walking around on fucking all fours. What are we talking about here? What is this?
Dude, did you see that video of the guy dressed as the Joker skateboarding and then he jumps over that car?
No.
So it's on Twitter. It's just like somebody filmed it. Like I filmed the Joker going crazy.
Here's the thing too, though, is that I'm legitimately so upset because this movie I had such high hopes.
Yeah,
for
me
it.
too.
It looked like it was going to be really cool. Like from the trailers, it looked
it looked very interesting.
But I feel like the trailer showed everything.
I think the problem is that these monsters don't really have any stakes. They just manifest themselves and then try and kill you and then disappear.
And then fuck off, yeah. So, like, even, like, Mr. Jangly Man, like, while they're chasing Mr. Jangly Man, or while Mr. Jangly Man's chasing him, it's like, oh, he could just disappear at any moment, and he does.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This movie, the stakes are low. The narrative is dog shit.
And it ends on, like, the worst thing ever, where they're like, they're not dead. We're going to find them. I'm like, oh, you can't make more of these.
Yeah, there's no way this made money.
Yeah, it did.
Did it make money?
Yeah,
this
made a lot
money?
of money.
Dude, I hated it. I did not like this movie. 2 stars, says Chadley.
2 stars for sure.
2 stars on the Chadsky scale. All right, real quick. We're gonna wrap this up, but let's do some trailer trash real quick.
Absolutely.
We got the final trailer for Star Wars. Have you seen it?
I have.
That's what I'm talking about.
That looks pretty good.
That is the shit.
JJ did it? Question mark?
JJ did it, dude. I can't wait to tweet that JJ did it, dude. That is what I'm looking for, and is what I have been looking for since Force Awakens.
The like water stuff looks pretty cool.
It looks like a fucking great movie. All the food groups are represented. Like it looks so good, and like the music is
I'm really
amazing.
excited to see how they work Palpatine into this.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad they haven't showed him much in promotional material, but however, that does mean one thing that makes me sad. He's not in it that much.
Probably
He's not in it that much. He's probably going to be in it like for a few minutes, and that's it.
But when they show that throne thing, I was like, oh, fuck. It's
yes.
on, dude.
Yeah, it's on, dude. They also released the runtime for this movie. It is going to be the longest Star Wars movie ever made.
What's the runtime on that
2
bad
hours,
boy?
35, just barely longer than Last Jedi. I think that's an acceptable length.
Yeah, it's fine for Star Wars.
Yeah, especially because this is going to finish off the Skywalker saga. Oh, excuse me. The Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to get in there.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, because it looks like they're doing a lot of, like, what I really like about Star Wars is, like, going to a new planet every time.
Yeah.
And this one, they feel like they've really done some interesting stuff, like the one where they're on a water planet on, like, ships.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
That's good. They've never done that before. They've never done anything in water before.
Yeah. It's like, it looks like they're really going to be making this something completely different. We also saw a trailer. I don't know if you saw it, but did you see the trailer for Antlers?
No.
Oh boy,
what is that even?
that is a new horror movie from director of Hostiles. His name's Scott Cooper.
Okay. I'm familiar with Scott Cooper.
And here's the thing: is I didn't take much out of this trailer, but here's what I did take out of it. Jesse Plemons is fucking on the upcoming, dude.
Oh, Plemons always on the upswing.
Dude,
that's one guy that's never on the downswing.
Yeah, why is Plemons? Here's the thing: is at first he was just fake Matt Damon.
Yeah,
but
Fat
now
Damon.
he's better Matt Damon.
Oh, he's way better than Matt Damon. guy's a thespian. Dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I'm really excited for that. But ultimately, Star Wars is like the thing that, because like that's what, like a month away now.
We're getting close.
Fuck yeah,
2 months.
It's coming up. Yeah. Oh no, just, about 2 months. 2 months. Well, it's the 12th, right, of December.
Is it the 12th?
Yeah, I think it's exactly 1 month.
90
after the
days, baby.
Disney Plus launch. Oh man, I can't wait to go and see that. I just hope that I'm not surrounded by a bunch of nerds, but I know that I will be.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
bro.
fuck, dude. I hope they send us to
I'm gonna go see it at Eau Claire where no one fucking goes to.
I hope they send us to a fucking press screening, dude, so that but that might be worse, actually.
That would be way worse.
I think
dude.
that might be worse if they sent us to a press screening of that. But yeah, I'm actually, for the first time since like the first trailer I saw for Force Awakens, I'm like, oh no, that is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That is exactly the Star Wars content I want. And I think that is the big takeaway. Like, especially like look at Force Awakens, which I famously love a lot.
Sure.
I famously love Force
I think
Awakens.
it's a great film.
Yeah. Ryan Johnson doesn't get Star Wars, and it's clear that JJ does.
Well, Ryan Johnson doesn't get Star Wars, and they were just like, okay,
Yeah.
just do whatever you want.
And he's like,
And he was like, oh, really?
Are you sure? And they're like, well, what is whatever you want?
And he's like, it's gonna be really crazy. Leia's gonna fly through space like she's Superman.
We're gonna have it be the entire movie be a 1 km/h police chase,
Dude, yes, that, and also
What?
if you think that scene where Leia is flying through space without an oxygen mask is good, you're dumb. Because that's maybe the worst scene in cinema history if I think about it.
Yeah, one of the worst.
That's like the worst thing I can think of. It completely destroys the mystique of Star Wars.
I got a worse one. The auction from Jurassic World 2.
Maybe.
That one might be worse. Fuck, dude, fuck those. I can't believe that those two movies came out so close to each other.
Two of the worst movies of all time.
Fuck, dude, they're so bad. But you know what sucks though is that last week I've actually been doing some rewatches on some old creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Just it's Spooky-tober. I actually rewatched Monster Calls. God, it's too bad J.A. Bayona fucked his own career with that Jurassic World because he was gonna be good, man.
Oh, you watch Monsters Call, huh?
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's a good one.
I still really fucking love that movie. I don't know if I'd still give it a 5, but maybe a 4.
Oh, I definitely didn't give it a 5.
It's still.
I was smart about it.
I did give it a 5 originally, but I might down it to 4, but it's still really good. But you know what else I rewatched this week? And it's I can't tell if it's better than I remember it or worse than I remember it. But Amazon Prime had Beetlejuice up there.
Oh, Beetlejuice.
So-
Dude, I'm a lot like Beetlejuice, actually.
You are a lot like Beetlejuice, actually. So
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, do I have the fucking broken cortex that fucking Beetlejuice has?
Man, but here's the thing: is that like I really liked it because Alec Baldwin skinny is super funny to me.
Yeah, dude, that is funny. Actually.
Skinny Alec Baldwin is super funny. But here's the thing that I thought about Beetlejuice is like I remember more happening in that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's not really about that much.
No, not really.
It's mostly just about these like Gina Davis and I just said his name and I've already forgotten. Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis just being dead. Like, and that's really all the movie is about. And I remember it being about so much more than that. And then Catherine O'Hara with that wacky hair, dude.
Right.
It is good though. I actually,
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's good,
seen it in a while.
I still think I'd say it's like a 3, but it was fun.
For sure.
Yeah, it's really.
I get
really
why
fun.
people like it.
Yeah, I don't love the visuals for the most part. Like
When it turns into like a clay monster.
yeah, when they turn into, I don't like the clay monster stuff. However, I really like because like Tim Burton has got his like the way that he makes movies now is like just like the fucking turning down the saturation on shit, and I hate that. But like back in the day with like Beetlejuice, and even while I'm not a big fan of it, even like Edward Scissorhands, it's like it's almost like Uncanny Valley shit, and that's the shit I'm more interested in. Where everything's really bright. Mars Attacks is a great example of this too.
Mars Attacks is like very good.
I love Mars Attacks.
I don't mind Scissorhands. I just think it's way overrated.
It's not. You know what? Here's the thing. It used to be one of my favorite movies of all time, and literally every time I watch it, I like it way less.
Yeah, but I do. I get what you're saying. I do like that kind of like fakey style.
Yeah, like it's almost like a weird fake town that's too happy.
Yeah. I don't. There's definitely a word for that. I can't think of it at this moment though.
Uncanny Valley.
Nah, I don't think it's Uncanny Valley. Maybe.
Yeah, it's like it's esque though, but it looks like it's Beetlejuice is a pretty cool looking movie.
Sure.
And while it's super grim, they do use super dirty like right away too, with the dog and the fucking.
Yeah, and I do like that was around the time when like Pee-wee's came out too, and like Tim Burton really like doing that fucking claymation stuff.
Yeah, and Pee-wee's is also great. That might be my favorite Burton is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, fucking Large Marge Clay Monster.
Yeah, I forgot about Large Marge Clay Monster. I like that movie because Pee Wee Herman is a bully to children. That's very funny to me.
Pee Wee Herman is funny.
Yeah. Hey, Podcast Bot 8000.
Oh, this fucking guy.
Hey guys.
I thought I shut you off, bitch.
Hey guys, I put a bunch of corn on the cob inside my unit.
Oh, I don't know what that sentence means.
Inside my torso.
Oh, okay.
And I buttered it up too much, dude.
Oh, are you slippery?
Dude, I buttered it up too much. It's getting inside me.
Oh, no.
I'm full of corn. It's melting.
Did you put like sea salt on it or anything?
Buck, help. I'm sea salted up.
Is it warm? Like, is it cooked?
It's very uncooked.
Oh, well, see, the problem is I'm very hungry right now because it's around lunchtime, and I could use some corn on the cob.
You can't have any. It's all for me. I'm putting it there. I'm saying.
All right, well, get the fuck out of here then, Podcast Bot.
Okay, but first, before I go, let's talk. It's the first week.
Oh, right, you're gonna do a thing.
Non-Spooky-tober.
Oh yeah, well,
the first week episode, movie Epidemic episode November 3rd, 2019.
Great.
Just timestamping the podcast. On the next episode of Movie Epidemic podcast, we'll be watching The Lighthouse.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude.
With Rob Patterson.
This is like, I can't imagine this not being in my top 10 of the year.
It's going to be a 10 or a 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a 10. Legendary 10.
Maybe a legendary 10 out of 5.
Yeah. They're also going to be watching 2 shitty Netflix originals because we're back, baby. We're back to the shitty Netflix.
And to be fair, Netflix is having their drop season right now, so we're going to be watching a lot of Netflix originals in the coming months.
Fuck yeah, we are. What are the Netflix originals?
Dolomite. The new Noah Baumbach is coming out. The new Scorsese, of course.
I heard that Baumbach is fucking banging.
I've heard
too.
it's amazing.
I've heard it's so good. What's that called? Hidden Gems?
Marriage Story.
Marriage
No, you're thinking of the Safdie brothers Uncut Gems. That's not going to be on Netflix, but that one we are also going to be watching soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. But what are the Netflix ones we're watching this week, Podcast Bot 8000? I know that Spooky-tober is over, but we're going to watch another horror movie. Eli.
I've heard it's good.
I've heard that's good too, actually. I've heard it's awesome.
I wanted to program it for Spooky-tober, but I'm like, we have to watch Rob Zombie.
Yeah, you did the right thing. You absolutely did the right thing. What's the other one? They're also going to be watching The Laundromat, Steven Soderbergh.
Okay.
The most retired man in Hollywood making his second film of the year.
Heard Gary Oldman does blackface in it. And Meryl Streep.
Look, here's the thing.
And Meryl Streep.
Here's the thing. Meryl Streep, okay, I get it. It's part of the movie, right? But with Gary Oldman, there's too much connotations there.
No, Meryl Streep does blackface. Gary Oldman does yellowface.
No, that's worse.
So I'm excited to see what Soderbergh has cooked up for us, and we need to watch this one soon because apparently the subjects of it, the lawyers in this movie, are suing Netflix and telling them to take it down because they're like, we don't like how we were portrayed in this movie with the yellow face and stuff.
What else are we watching? The boys are starting a new series. It's going to be the last series of 2019, even though there was only 2 series.
Well,
Universal Monster Movies, 48 movies. And now, The Fast and the Furious. You know, we've talked about these movies.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
No, that'll be next week. But we've talked about the Fast and Furious movies so much, but we've never formally reviewed the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
It is time.
We need to knock them out at some point.
It is time. And that means that I am going to have to see Hobbs and Shaw, which I have not seen yet. But it looks like it's the best movie of all time. So.
You'll fucking love that shit, dude.
I'm sure I will. So make sure you check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Movie Epidemic. We're
Absolutely.
on Twitter at Movie Epidemic. You can head on over to the website, movieepidemic.com.
beautiful website.
We're on Podbean. We're on Stitcher. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on...
It's not called iTunes anymore.
Oh, it's called Apple Music?
Mm-hmm. I
Apple
think so.
Podcasts, whatever. We're on whatever the fuck is pre-installed on your iPhone. We're on... We're on everything. Just Google movieepidemic.com or just go to movieepidemic.com.
Absolutely. If you are listening to this the day this episode comes out, head on over to twitch.tv/jhmacy. I'm going to be playing through Outer Worlds probably all day today. So if you hear this between now and midnight, the day this came out, head on over.
Holy fuck, you're going to stream for that long?
Probably.
God damn, dude. This dude's streaming. It's downloaded on my Xbox One. Haven't touched it.
I gotta bang out. Like, I got the Xbox Game Pass for 1 month.
For $1?
For $1.
Yeah.
So that I can play through this in Gears, and then I'm going to cancel it.
Yeah, that's a smart move. I just never cancel it because I actually like Game Pass a lot.
It's
but
pretty good.
This is
I like that it's on PC.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool, actually.
That's pretty neat. And there's some stuff that's exclusive to PC and some stuff that's exclusive to Xbox One. But this ain't a video gaming podcast. Thanks for listening to us talk about movies. Come back next week. We're going to talk about a weird Willem Dafoe thing.
All right.